Welcome to This Wild Journey, the podcast where your body, your brain, and your battle plan come together. If you're reeling from betrayal trauma, drowning in the chaos of divorce or custody court, feeling overwhelmed by post-trauma parenting, you are in the right place. We're here to untangle hard truths that bring clarity and courage so you can reclaim your power, protect your peace, and resolve trauma without reliving it. Let's get to work. Welcome back. We are working through a series of episodes in season 2 of This Wild Journey podcast, where we are talking about the incredible need for protective parents who are dealing with the stress of court and co-parenting to have some kind of emotional armor. And I just love this concept because, I don't know, just the mental picture of having armor that protects not just our physical bodies, but also our emotions, but also our physical bodies, right? Because our emotions impact our physical bodies. So one of the things I've been doing as we prepared for recording this season, I asked our online community some questions about how court and co-parenting stress affects their bodies. And I got a number of responses, but a couple of them just really got down to something deeper. It wasn't just mental or emotional stress that people are describing. It is profoundly, deeply, life-alteringly physical.
Yes.
So many people are like, oh, that's not physical abuse. It is when your body starts to break down. One person said, for me, it's anything that hurts my son. It feels like someone is wringing out my heart like a wet rag. There is pain, physical, literal pain in my chest. And another said, I get terrible diarrhea whenever I have to go to face court or a highly charged situation, especially when my child is crying in fear and doesn't want to be forced to go. And this person went on to share that they're actually seeing a gastroenterologist and they're having to have scans because the amount of intestinal distress that they have been experiencing for so long, they're worried it's going to cause permanent physical damage. And I'm sure that a lot of people hear that and they think, okay, well, that's extreme. But after working for years in this space, I really don't think it's extreme. I don't think it is.
No, it's not. And I'm really glad we're talking about it because this is the part people often keep to themselves. You know, when the body reacts this strongly, people start wondering if something's wrong with them. But these are very real, very common nervous system responses.
Yeah, and they're intense. I mean, chest pain that makes you wonder if you're having a heart attack and gut reactions. I jokingly, I don't know if this is a medical term or not. I'm no doctor, but I call it situational IBS. IBS stands for irritable bowel syndrome, but where it's just the situation and the circumstances, and you've got to run because you need a toilet instantly. And I'll be honest, Bren, I've experienced that myself, that level of physical distress.
Yeah, that's full body activation. And if you look at what's happening underneath it, it makes sense. And by the way, if you're experiencing these kinds of symptoms, I would recommend that you visit your doctor or a
Mhm.
medical
Yes.
professional just to make sure there's not something else going on. Okay. But in the first example, that's a parent watching their child suffer. And that hits at a very deep level. It's not just stress. It's my child is not okay and I can't fully stop it. The nervous system takes that very seriously.
Yeah, and people really do feel that in their chest. It's a
Yeah,
thing.
that tight, aching, almost crushing kind of feeling people describe, that's not imagined. The nervous system is affecting heart rate, breathing, muscle tension, everything. And it can feel like grief, fear, urgency all at once. And it shows up physically.
Yeah, and then there's the gut reaction too.
Exactly. And here's the thing, this is where the gut brain connection comes in. Your gut has its own network of nerves called the enteric nervous system. And it's in constant communication with the brain through the vagus nerve pathway. So when you're detecting a threat pattern, your gut is getting the message almost immediately. The cramping, the urgency, the diarrhea, that I need to get out of here right now kind of feeling. That's your body preparing for action, for mobilization.
Right. That's even before the situation actually happens. It's like pre-preparation, right?
Exactly. And that's what stood out in the response. It's the anticipation. Court coming up, an emotionally charged interaction ahead, having to send a child into a situation that feels unsafe for them. Ugh, you know, hearing your child cry and not being able to do anything, the body reacts before that event even starts.
Yeah, and that's an excruciatingly hard position to be in. I remember living through different things like that. Not being able to sleep or eat the night before I knew my kids were going to have to go away
Mm,
to be in the other home where I knew they weren't
mhm,
going to be safe. But it's not just about managing that stress. It's there's something deeper here because
mhm.
it's actually about enduring something where you don't have the option of making it just stop, but you have to endure something that feels wrong. It's like going against your core values,
Mhm.
and yet you still have to endure it.
Yes, and that's where I think people get really stuck because the advice they hear just it doesn't match what they're experiencing. You know, they're told to stay calm, stay grounded, but their body is reacting at a level that doesn't respond to willpower.
No, you can't just think yourself into feeling better when you're activated and triggered like this. So what helps here? Because the goal isn't to feel nothing. Although I have had clients ask me to try to help them get there. And I'm like, no, I can't help you do that. Your goal should never be to just feel nothing. But what
Right.
do we do?
It shouldn't be. The goal's not just how do I shut this off, but I can understand the
The allure.
the allure, I guess you might say. I can understand that thinking. But the goal is how do I stay more steady and accessible inside something that is genuinely hard? And usually the first shifts are really small. The intensity comes down a little sooner. The body settles a little faster afterward. It doesn't take over the entire day. And those are real improvements.
Yeah. So when you begin working on this nervous system stabilization and steadiness, and you're in situations like this, those small shifts matter. They matter a lot. A lot. A lot.
Yeah, they do. Because when the nervous system stays at that level for too long, it drains everything:
Mhm.
energy, clarity, patience, decision making. So even a partial recovery makes a difference.
Yeah, I want to reiterate that. And I want to make a point really clearly for anyone who's listening. If your body is reacting this strongly, You're like, well, you're singing my song here and you're resonating with this. It does not mean you're weak or that you're not doing things the way you're supposed to. It means that you are existing inside a very traumatizing environment that is pulling at the fabric of your nervous system. Now, I also feel like it's important. I know you already said this, Bren, but just to kind of loop back around, we are not doctors and this is not medical advice. So if you're having symptoms that concern you, especially things like chest pain, severe digestive symptoms or gastrointestinal issues, heart racing, um, things that feel medically serious, please talk with your doctor or another qualified medical professional because these things can stack up over time and turn into something severe that will take far more intervention. So don't hesitate to talk to your doctor and get these documented.
Right. Yes. And both things can be true. You want to take concerning symptoms seriously, and your body may also be responding to something your nervous system reads as serious. And in many cases it is serious.
Yes, I mean, hey, I'm a cancer survivor. I ignored symptoms for a year and a half because who's got time for that, right? When you're mom and you're doing all the things. There have been so many times that I've gone and finally given in, sat in a doctor's office and outlined everything that I'm living with and gotten my labs back. And the doctors have said, did you drive yourself here? How are you even walking? Like your body is so jacked up right now. How are you functioning? I'm like, I don't have a choice. I don't have a choice. This isn't an opt in or opt out kind of thing when you're a protective parent and a single parent. Um, so anyway, before I get all drawn off into that little soapbox rant, let me refocus here because all of these things, and I know if you're in this situation too, you can probably relate. And this is exactly why emotional armor exists because people like you and me need something that actually helps these kinds of moments, not just general advice about staying calm or referral to a yoga session. You need tools you can use when your chest is tight and your stomach drops and your adrenaline shoots up the spine of your back like an ice bath and your body's already reacting before you've had time to think. So, if you're listening and any of this feels familiar, emotional armor is open right now for you to add to your toolbox. It is filled with practical, ready to implement nervous system regulations tools for that steadiness. I'm going to put the link underneath below. Um, yeah, Bren, you got
Yeah.
anything else?
Yeah, I just wanted to
Ellen?
add that there aren't always these quiet, ideal situations where you can go off for 30 minutes and have a nice massage or something like that. Emotional armor is designed to work in real time, in the moment that you need it.
Yeah, exactly. And now, next time in our next episode, we're going to talk about what happens when you're in those moments in real time, because that's when you need this most. When you're sitting in a courtroom, walking into a medical appointment, and you're going to feel trapped in that teeny tiny exam room with your co parent who has also decided to show up and take over the appointment and tell the doctor everything. Or when you're trying to speak clearly while you feel watched, monitored, stalked, evaluated, or under pressure to prove something that is very important to show what is true. The big question with this is how do you stay steady when your body is doing the exact opposite? And that is what emotional armor helps you do.
Yeah, when it's not just stress, it's pressure, visibility, and very real consequences.
Yeah. And I mean, how often have we wished we could be invisible on this
Mm.
journey? A lot of times, but you can't. So, between now and our next episode, where we're going to talk about this more emotional armor and how you can use these tools I just want you to remember that you do not have to walk this wild journey all by yourself. We're here to walk it with you. There is a community while you are battling through court and co-parenting as a protective parent. See you next time. Brought to you by Wilderness to Wild. www.thiswildjourneypodcast.com